My daughter asked why mommy's pregnancy photos show a different woman. She had just turned 6 years old and was digging through boxes of old photo albums in our basement, looking for baby pictures of herself for a school project. That's when she found them buried at the bottom of a storage bin. Pictures of a woman I hadn't seen or spoken to in over 5 years. Her hands resting gently on her swollen belly, smiling peacefully at the camera in what was clearly a professional maternity photo shoot. My wife walked into the room carrying laundry and immediately froze when she saw what our daughter was holding. The color drained from her face completely. Our daughter held up one of the photos with obvious confusion. "Daddy, who is this lady in these pictures? She has a really big round tummy like when babies are coming. But this isn't mommy. Mommy looks totally different." My wife slowly set down the laundry basket and looked at me with barely concealed panic in her eyes. We had always known with complete certainty that this conversation would eventually happen. We had discussed it many times, planned what we might say, read books about how to handle it appropriately. We just genuinely didn't expect it to arrive when she was only 6 years old. I lowered myself down to my daughter's level and sat cross-legged on the basement floor beside her. "That woman's name is Bree," I said carefully. "She's someone very special who helped bring you into this world." My daughter tilted her head, processing. "Like a doctor helps? Or a nurse at the hospital?" "Not exactly like that, sweetheart." I took a deep breath and chose my words as carefully as I possibly could. "Mommy and Daddy wanted to have a baby so incredibly much. We wanted you more than anything in the entire world, but Mommy's tummy had some problems that made it unsafe for her to grow a baby inside. It would have made Mommy very sick. So Bree, this kind and generous woman, she let you grow safely inside her tummy instead until you were ready to come out and meet us." My daughter sat with this information with the intense seriousness that only young children possess. Her little forehead wrinkled in concentration. "So I was growing in the wrong tummy the whole time?" "No, sweetheart, absolutely not. You were in exactly the right tummy, the perfect tummy. Bree kept you completely safe and healthy and warm until you were strong enough and ready to come home to us. That was always the plan." She studied the photograph again for a long moment, tracing the woman's face with her small finger. Then she asked the question that absolutely shattered something inside my chest. "Does Bree miss me? Is she sad that I'm not with her?" My wife couldn't hold back anymore. She sat down on the cold basement floor with us, tears already streaming down her cheeks. "Bree loved you so incredibly much, baby girl. She loved you enough to give you to us because she knew in her heart that we would love you and take care of you forever. That kind of gift isn't about missing someone. It's the biggest and most beautiful gift any person can possibly give to another." My daughter considered this carefully, then looked up with determination. "I think I want to meet her someday. Can I meet Bree?" We had completely lost contact with Bree shortly after the birth. She had specifically requested space and distance to emotionally process everything she had experienced and given up. We had always respected that boundary completely. But sitting there looking at our daughter's hopeful face, I knew she deserved the chance to understand where she came from. "I will try my absolute hardest to find her," I promised solemnly. It took me over 3 months of dedicated searching. Bree had moved twice across different states and changed her phone number. I finally managed to track her down through a mutual friend from the surrogacy agency who still had contact information. When I called and carefully explained the situation, Bree went completely silent on the other end for almost a full minute. "She actually wants to meet me?" Her voice cracked with emotion. "She asks about you constantly," I told her honestly. "She made you a handmade card with drawings and glitter. She's been practicing questions she wants to ask you." Another long stretch of silence filled with quiet crying. Then finally, "I always assumed you would want to forget I ever existed." When Bree finally walked nervously through our front door, my daughter sprinted directly across the room and wrapped her small arms tightly around Bree's legs in a fierce embrace. "Thank you so much for keeping me safe and warm in your tummy," she said, her voice muffled against Bree's jeans. Bree immediately burst into heaving sobs and lowered herself down to hold my daughter properly. They stayed wrapped around each other like that for what felt like an eternity.